Okay, so this is what happens when you let somebody clean up your truck that really don't know what they're doing. You can see all this is cracked here in the middle. It's all faded out. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like here in the middle. Even this stripe here is it's peeling up. It's all faded. Here's what it's supposed to look like. See how bright red the stripes are. It's got I call it like a machine turning or something like that in the middle of it. Kind of looks like metal. But evidently, when I hired the guy to clean up the truck and I had him wax it, he must have waxed over these stripes. I know you're not supposed to wax over these stripes, and he must have waxed over them. Now notice on the side, he didn't do that. So, you know, I'm trying to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I will not name his name because, you know, he was starting out his time, and he's a super nice guy. And so, you know, I'm not going to completely blame it on him, but I suspect what happened is something happened here, and I feel like this got waxed over on the hood. Maybe it didn't on the sides. I don't know. Maybe it was a certain kind of cleaner he was using, and maybe the sun on the hood caused this to happen. I don't know. So anyways, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. But anyways, that's what's going on. And so what I'm doing, this looks so bad on the hood. I'm in the process. I'm gonna take all the stripes off. And so what happened when I started taking the red off on this side, the red stripes came off really easy. But all that in the middle that's cracked, all that what was supposed to be look like the metal look, whatever, it's so deteriorated, it wouldn't come off. It wouldn't peel up and come off. So I've got to figure out what I got to do to get that off of there. But I did get the red stripes off the hood. I'm in the process on this, and I just started this, and I thought, you know what? I need to show people this. People might want to know about this. So I grabbed the camera. That's the reason why it's kind of halfway in between here. But I kind of want to show you what I was doing here. I'll kind of show you how I'm getting this red stripe up here. So basically, it comes up really, really easy. Basically, all I'm doing is I'm just taking a blade here, being very careful not to scratch the existing black paint. But literally, all I'm having to do is I'm really not even pulling up on the stripe. I didn't normally do this with two hands, but literally you can just kind of push this right up and in there, and it's actually coming right up off of there. So getting the red off is pretty easy, but this, I mean, it just don't even peel up. So I've got to figure out got to get something to release the adhesive on this middle part to get it up. But it's just so cracked, it just won't come up like this is. And you can see, I mean, this is coming up pretty easy, pretty clean too. A little bit of glue residue there, but it's pretty easy to get off. You can actually see, hopefully it'll show up in the camera here. Right here, the stripe actually went all the way up to here. So you can see, this is where I've actually already cleaned it. I just put some regular cleaner here. There is, I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, there is a little bit of a line here, and that's why I feel like he waxed it. Because I feel like there's not wax where the stripe was, and there is a little bit of wax build up next to the stripe. And so I'll have to, you know, get some, I call it compound. I don't know what it's called anymore, but basically something that's just got a little bit of grit to it to smooth that out. And I think it'll come out pretty easy. I've done played with it a little bit. Alright guys, here it is after I got all the red stripe off. Again, you can see all this in the middle is what was deteriorated so bad. I mean, it is terrible. A little stickiness where the red was, a little bit of adhesive. Not terrible though. But let me show you the other side now. This is the other side. So now we've got it all cleaned up. You see the stripes completely gone. You can see this side and this side. There's a little bit of a ghost imprint. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera or not, But again, I mean, this truck is 11 years old now. These stripes have been on it since new. And so, you know, obviously there's going to be a little bit of where the sun, you know, faded out different parts of it versus where the stripe was. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. I ended up using this Goo Gone to get most of that residue off that I was talking about earlier. All of this. And I mean, it took, gosh, I guess probably 4 or 5 coats. I'd put it a little bit on there. I tested a little bit first, make sure it didn't affect the paint. Didn't seem to affect the paint any. So then I'd put a layer on, let it soak in a little bit. As bad as it sounds, I had to take a razor blade and kind of scrape this top layer off. And you know, you can tell when it loosens up because it would really just scrape right off on the razor blade. And then I would take, I just took some glass cleaner and cleaned everything off. Still saw residue, so I'd put another coat of the Goo Gone on there, take a razor blade to it. I did that about probably 4 or 5 times to get it to where it was almost all completely gone. And then what I did was I actually took I took some compound right here and went over the whole area. And after that, I went back with some paint cleaners, which is a really light polish. That way, if I did have any too deep of swirls from the compound, to try to take those out. And I actually even went in there with a clay bar on the last step. And so now it's real smooth. There's no more residue on there. Like I say, there is just a little bit of a ghost there just from, you know, the sun exposure over the years. But again, I think if I keep it waxed and washed and, you know, probably come back with it, you know, I did all this by hand. So if I came back with a buffer, electric buffer or something, I think I could get some more of that out where you didn't even see it. But anyways, it's kind of what it's looking like. At least it is coming off. Still got one side to go. It took me about an hour to get this one side off here, you know, once I got the red stripe off doing all the others. So now my big debate is, do I take all it off all the way down the side? I'm kind of thinking I am. I think I'm going to take it all off, take all the stripes off, just leave the Harley emblems on. And I'm hoping this will come off easier because you can see it's not as deteriorated as it was on the hood. And so I'm hoping that'll come off a lot easier. Maybe just have a little bit of glue residue that'll come off a whole lot easier than what I had to do on the hood. So stay tuned. I'll show you what we end up doing if we do end up taking the sides off or not. Alright, here is the whole hood with both sides completely done. Just overlooked the pollen. The pollen's falling faster than I can wipe it off. But it gives you an idea kind of what it looks like. Again, like I said earlier, I can see just a little faint hint of where they was. But honestly, if you didn't know where to look, I don't think you would see it. And I think that'll get better as I wash it, wax it. You know, it needs a good good polishing and all that, and I think that'll take a little bit more out of it. Now, I did go ahead and decide I'm going to take the side stripes off. And so you can see I do have the lower stripe off here. If you've seen in the previous video when I showed you down the side, I got all that off. Everything behind the door's off. All I got is one more. And I've also done the other side. I just finished the other side. And so you see the whole lower stripe is gone on this side as well. And so, a little back-breaking work, but a little patience. These side ones did come off a whole lot better. They didn't leave all the residue like I showed you on the hood. Pretty much if you go really slow, I just started the edge with a razor blade. And then as long as you pull it off real slow, it may leave a little bit of adhesive here or there, but it pretty much comes off in a hole. And the good thing is, all of this right here came off with it. Remember the red stripes came off, but where it was so decayed, it left everything in the middle. Pretty much all the way down the sides, everything came off all in one piece. So a little bit of adhesive, but a little bit of Goo Gone. I haven't polished, haven't compounded, done anything on these sides other than I just took a little bit of Goo Gone to get rid of the adhesive that was left on there. As you can see, it looks pretty good. So next step's finish to getting these off of here on both sides, and then it'll be completely all the stripes will be completely gone. I think it's gonna look pretty good. Alright everybody, you can see here I did go ahead and take all the side stripes off, and so I have got them completely off. I did have the truck nice and shined up, but then we had to go to the festival, and so I didn't have time to shoot this video before we went, so the truck's back dirty again. But just to give you a look down the side there, let me show you the other side. Again, there's pollen all over the truck. Pollen's falling faster than you can wipe it off. But again, I think it looks pretty good. Definitely changes the look of the truck, makes it look more sleek. Of course, I've had it for quite a few years now with the stripes. Alright guys, so I know this was kind of a shorter video, but I just kind of wanted to show you what I got into as far as getting the stripes off the truck. It's funny because I was watching a fellow YouTuber that I will watch all the time, and he actually bought a tool that you put on the end of a drill to remove stickers and stuff, and he tried it on just like the little dealer sticker on his I think his F250, but and it worked. Now it would have scared me to death the way it does it, but hey, it worked and it didn't cause any damage and it looked good. But again, I went a different route. You know, I actually peeled them off manually, and again, you know, you can go back and check the video how I did all that, but I think it turned out pretty good. You know, this truck is a 2011, so the stickers have been on there for a little while, so I still need to you know, take a, whether I buff it by hand or with a random orderboard oil or something like that, and you know, kind of give it the marks off where it's been waxed over the years, because there's just a little, I can see it just a little bit. Most people probably never see it, but I do want to do that finishing up and get rid of just the tiny marks that I can see. But again, it's not, the stickers came off wonderfully, and again, you know, I just took the razor blade, got it started, peeled it off by hand, and then I did have to use some Goo Gone in some places where it didn't come off good. But again, you can see by the videos, I think it turned out pretty well. So if you like this video, thumbs up please, and if you hadn't already, subscribe. And like I said, we got a lot more adventures coming, so stay tuned. We're gonna get back doing our videos every week, coming out Sunday, and so make sure you tune in.